JD Brewer here to read a scene from my upcoming novel, On the Other Side of Greatness. In this scene from Vagabond's prequel, a character shows up for just a moment in Chapter 5, but it is a moment that I can't get out of my head. I hope you enjoy this sneak peek just for you, my super loyal readers. Leave. When news spoke, it was always in fragments and broken letters. But even with the fever, she knew how to make her point known. I could tell she was a wordsmith in her own language. Her eyes held so many stories I'd never earned the time to hear, and with that one word, I could nearly translate the Vietnamese lullabies she still sang to the dead baby floating inside her. I couldn't bring myself to leave, but the last thing I wanted to do was stay. She wanted me to go. Years from now, if I lasted that long, I could say I left because it was what she wanted. Instead, I held her left hand with my empty one. No matter what, no one deserved to die alone. She sighed half-lucid sighs before she steeled herself. Gun. It wasn't a demand, though it wasn't a request. She said it as a broken fact. In my other hand, I held my mother's .38 special. It was a small revolver, though it was large in my palm. There was no safety, but I cocked it so the trigger would take less pull. It wasn't much, but it'd make the act smoother. It'd make the moment faster. It wouldn't make it easier. My hand trembled when I gave it to her. New's hand did not when she took it. I wanted to look away then. I wanted to be with Adon and Tommy, where they waited outside, where they would only hear but not see. I wanted to look away and stare at the green curtains on the abandoned windows of the abandoned house on the abandoned street New had chosen. She had pointed with a thin, smooth finger towards the one-story shotgun house with the pale picket fence and said, "I rest there." The door had been locked as if the family had just left for dinner, like they'd be back within the hour. Despite the wall of family portraits, a toddler with buck teeth, a girl with crooked bangs, a wedding photo set against a sunset, the house held no ghosts. Adon helped me carry her in through the front hall into the last bedroom. A king-sized bed was surrounded by wide windows. They opened to an overgrown backyard, and I raised the blinds so she could watch the ivy overcome the world. I hoped that one day it would swallow the entire house, wrapping her in a tomb of emerald. Adon lowered her into the soft green comforter. It was pale, not gaudy. The room was tasteful. He leaned in to kiss her on the forehead the same way he'd kissed his mother when she was in her final moments. His necklace grazed her sternum, his hair covered his face, but there was love there. There was always love when it came to Adon. He couldn't watch, he couldn't stay. He felt it was an intrusion, and we nearly argued about my choice to sit with her. We'd have to disagree on this one thing. I wasn't about to leave New, and this was the moment I couldn't be wishy-washy about. Besides, staying with her through this would mean I wouldn't have to come back for the gun when she was finished. But if I left now, I'd never be able to return again. It was the practical intention that gave spine to the emotional one, but that was how the world worked now. So here I sat, taking on the responsibility of being the last face New ever saw. What expression was someone supposed to wear in this situation? What feeling was someone supposed to show? It's okay, I told her. I knew she could listen more than she could speak. I also knew it wasn't okay, that for her it never would be again. Nu nodded and moved the gun, slowly, purposefully. She settled the barrel above her right ear, askew from her temple. She blinked. I didn't know the best way to do it. I didn't have any advice. In the movies, they always put the gun in the mouth, but something always felt inappropriate about that placement to me. I guess Nu thought the same thing. The other side, I'll see you on it, I whispered. I don't know what made me say it, but after Nu blinked again, her face softened. Then she closed her eyes, determined to never see the world again. Outside, Adon and Tommy heard the bellow of sound. The birds that were left probably screeched in protest before they flew off in pixelated droves. The trees didn't care. They never did. Thanks for listening. If you haven't gotten a chance to read the first two novels, Vagabond and The Birth of Anarchy, be sure to catch up by March. Also, follow me on Twitter at JD Brewer Books and subscribe below for more readings and writing tips. And if you get the chance, visit www.jdbrewerbooks.com to see how you can help me connect to secondary classrooms with my Books to School program. As for the photos on this video, with the exception of 3, they were taken from a stock photo site called www.lifeofpics.com. Go ahead and check them out.